So, hey guys, welcome to our monthly first ever Meet the Owners ProBiz Zoom. Dave, Amy, and David Lett, they've all said they're going to support us once a month. They do the Meet the Owners calls every week over in America via phone, but this is the first time it's ever been done by Zoom, so we're the first ones in it. Thanks for that, Dave. So, obviously, Dave's on tonight. Dave is founder, co-owner, and the formulator of Purium. Every single one of the products that you have experienced or will be experiencing, that's the man that you need to thank for it. So Dave's obviously wrote a couple of books. The Green Foods Bible is one of the books that you will get when you join as a distributor. And I got to tell you, I think everybody who's a distributor here will definitely turn around and say, it's a phenomenal book to read on YouTube and what it can do to the human body. So, without any delay, could you put yourselves on mute, please, guys? Just so.
Sorry, I think that might be me.
Just a background noise, that's all.
So would you like me to put myself on? Well,
not you, Dave. I'll do it. Just bear with me a second, and I'll just I can put people on mute from this end. There we go. Okay, could you put yourself on mute there, Mel? Is that possible? Down on the left-hand side, just get a mute button.
Yeah, I seem to just be cutting myself completely off.
I'll get it. There we go. I've got you. I've sorted it.
Usually do this on my phone.
There, I've muted you. That's good. Right, great stuff. So let's get cracking. So Dave's going to talk to us about the cleanse today, and he's going to put his own little twist on it. So we're obviously coming into a party season. Our suggestions are get your cleanse this month ready to get a good clean out in January. So Dave, thanks, buddy, and I'll hand the call over to you, mate.
Well, good evening, everybody, and aloha from Hawaii. I am in Kauai. It's a beautiful island, the oldest of all of this island chain, this archipelago. And we are here to celebrate the top people at Purium. We're going to spend the next few days together, just having an amazing time. And I hope that one day we'll have some of you here with us as well. But until then, I wanted to tell you what it is that has inspired so many people worldwide to change their lives and to really have a new beginning. And the fact that this New Year's resolution season in the United States is really a big deal. People sort of take note of their life the past year and start to look forward to the next year and see how they might improve themselves and how they might perhaps, have a better year than they did the previous year. And so part of that is this whole commitment to do something, to drop some bad habits, to pick up some new good habits. And what we've found is that is a lot easier said than done. Most New Year's resolutions last, about 10 days, from what I heard. And so we felt that if people had a really amazing success in just 10 days, and the average time that most people could stick with a New Year's resolution, according to statistics, if they had this amazing result in 10 days, if they lost 5, 10, pounds, or I guess in stone, it might be, a couple of stone, maybe 3 stone, in just 10 days. That's pretty phenomenal. And most people are going to be inspired. They're going to look in the mirror. They're going to have a before and after picture. And that before and after picture is going to be one of real success. And so we find that success is something that is going to inspire people to continue on with the lifestyle. And we always say that Purium isn't products. It's not a company. It's a lifestyle. It's a group of like-minded and well-intentioned people trying to change the world, who understand that the quality of our life is going to be equal to the quality of the food we eat. And I learned some really important things. I learned that the human body doesn't need 2,000, 3,000, 4,000 calories a day to survive. I learned that because I lived as a breatharian for 16 months having, no calories, probably less than 100 calories a day for more than a year. If you count the few little glasses of wheatgrass that I consumed. And so realizing that we can live without food led me to realize that this overconsumption of food is actually leading to disease. It's leading to premature death. It's leading to suffering. It's leading to obesity and all of these other things that reduce the quality of our life. And I knew that the number one thing, the one thing that I could do to impact the quality of the world, the future of our children, is to help them to overcome this addiction to food. And I looked around and saw the quality of the food that was being offered to people was practically poison. Genetically modified organisms in the United States is just a new thing. But artificial colors, artificial flavors, all types of denatured grains, white sugar, white flour, white salt, hydrogenated oils, and all of these chemicals in agriculture, the preservatives, the additives, the stabilizers, the binders, fillers, excipients. These things had overwhelmed food, and finding a pure food was almost impossible. And I knew that 100 years ago, all food was pure. And so I wanted to create a simple, easy program that would address the most basic needs of the human body, the macro needs of protein, carbohydrates, fats, and fiber, and the micro needs of vitamins, minerals, enzymes, probiotics, phytochemicals, all the antioxidants that you might call them, all these things that need to come from our food. And I searched the world over, and I saw that there were 10,000 edible species of plants, and I began to look for the top ones. I remember there was a great footballer from England named George Best, and I actually helped his son with the rehabilitation. Call him Best, really good dude actually, once you get to know him. And the bottom line is that when you're the best, when you're not George Best, but when you're the absolute best, when you're top 1% of footballers, when you're top 1% in the United States, let's say of basketballers, and you're a Michael Jordan or you're a LeBron James, well, even though all the other players might be good, and there might be good players in college and high school, but they're not superstars. Superstars could change everything. One superstar could make a team a champion. And so putting a few superstars in your diet, making superstars the focus of your food became my mission. And so I put together this program, and the program has the most efficient protein, the most valuable fats, the slowest burning, most nutritious carbohydrates, and the most potent fruits that are available, the most potent fruit on the planet. And when you combine these and you take them in a rhythm, every 2 hours protein, and 2 hours later, you have these, these drinks, these green drinks that are filled with superfoods. And you go in this rhythm every 2 hours, and then you look to the science and you realize that to stabilize blood sugar, to reduce body weight, to have the maximum amount of energy, you don't eat a bunch of big meals, 3 big meals a day. You eat a bunch of micro meals, little tiny meals of 300 calories, 600 calories, and you do that several times a day, 7, 8, 9 times a day. And when you average 700 calories, we average 200 calories 7 times a day, you're at 1,400 calories. And yet you've managed to survive throughout the day with abundant food. So what we've done is we've reduced that to about 600 calories. And then we give you the opportunity to eat flex foods. Flex foods are to retrain your body. Remember that anytime you're really hungry, whatever you eat tastes really good. Anytime you're really hungry, whatever you eat tastes really good, with very few exceptions. So if you're really hungry and you go and you eat food that ultimately will kill you, it will still taste good. Sugar, fat, and salt, heck, that always tastes good, but it ultimately will kill you. So what we want to do is we want to retrain your taste buds. So when you're really hungry, and that's going to happen during the 10-day transformation, you're going to feel really hungry and deprived. And when you feel really hungry and deprived, you're going to satisfy yourself by eating something like half an avocado or an apple or half an apple, or maybe you're going to have some sauteed spinach or some steamed broccoli, but you're going to have this micro meal of 300 calories that's going to fill your belly and give you that chewy sensation. You put a little, a little spice on that food, and it's going to taste really good. And so the combination of the highest quality protein on the planet, what we call the super amino 23, the master amino acid plan, this is a protein that's literally capable of helping put muscle on somebody who's in a coma, capable of putting muscle on somebody who is paralyzed. And if you take it and add a little bit of activity, if you take it to a body that moves, the muscle gets built even faster. The problem is that when most people begin to lose weight, they lose muscle first, not with this program. With this program, we're putting a lock on your muscle, making your muscle get bigger instead of smaller while you're losing weight. The second thing that we're going to do is we're going to satisfy your cells. Total cellular satisfaction is the key to losing weight. If you're starving, if your body thinks you're starving because you don't have enough nutrients, then you are actually going to go into starvation mode. Metabolically, your body will become much more efficient at holding on to calories, and you don't want that. But if your body has abundant nutrients, if your cells are being saturated with protein and fat and carbohydrates and nutrients, but no calories. Yeah, there's a few calories in the fat, but it's super healthy fat. And there's a few calories in the carbohydrate, but it's super healthy carbohydrate. And there's a few calories in the protein, but it's super healthy protein. And because of that, in only 600 calories, you're going to be getting massive amounts of nutrients that are going to totally saturate your cells, satisfy your cells, and there will be no starvation reflex. There will be no rebound yo-yo, no cause for your body to go into hyper survival mode and to preserve calories. That's what most diets do. They make your body think you're starving. Your body goes into hyper survival mode. It starts to store and preserve every extra calorie every time it can, which means that you actually end up gaining more weight than you eventually lost. The gain exceeds the loss. We have overcome every problem with weight loss products and programs because we're doing this in a very scientific way. Every 2 hours, total cellular satisfaction, anabolically building up the muscle instead of letting catabolic muscle activity happen. And yes, it's true. At the end of the night, you're going to get a tart cherry drink. It actually tastes pretty good. You can mix it, with water, dilute it, add a little bit of apple juice. Sometimes I do. Drink that down. You're going to get deep sleep. During deep sleep, your body metabolizes fat far more efficiently. During deep sleep, your body repairs far more efficiently. And if you don't get deep sleep, the stress that is the result of that makes your body hold on to fat. Look at the different layers that we're doing that no other weight loss program, no other program has ever thought of. See, other programs are diets, D-I-E. They make your body think you're dying, okay? Ours is the program. We reprogram your cells. That's the whole difference. You're going to get deep sleep to where you don't have the stress that makes you hold on to fat. You're going to be building muscle, and muscle burns fat better than anything else. You're also going to be having total cellular satisfaction, and that is going to make sure that you don't go into starvation mode. And anytime you're hungry, you have the right, the opportunity, and the obligation to feed your body one of my super healthy flex foods so that you begin to reprogram yourself. And when you're hungry, you eat something healthy. When you're hungry, eat something healthy, and your life will change. So again, I'm willing to take questions. If you want more information, I could go on for hours, or I could take a few questions. That's up to you.
Yeah, I'll tell you what we'll do. We'll see if there's any questions there, Dave, because that might take you into areas where you were going to go anyway. Anybody got any questions at all, whether you've done the cleanse or not, or anything while Dave's here? Dave's a man to ask. If you've got any questions, Dave's a man to answer.
Yeah, and if not, I'll tell you about the roller coaster ride that we call the 10-day transformation.
Can I ask a question, actually, Dave?
You may.
Hi. We are in Glasgow in Scotland, and it gets pretty cold in the winter. Like the other day, it was -4. What would you suggest doing a transformation? We've got a group transformation starting in January the 9th. It may well be -4. What would you suggest for people doing a transformation in that temperature?
Well, one, I would warm up the tart cherry. I do that a lot. I have the tart cherry warm like a tea. I warm the water, not boiling, but warm enough to where it's comforting. And I add the tart cherry, a little bit of cinnamon, and make it taste a little bit like dessert. I also saute and steam vegetables. So I make my flex foods are hot flex as opposed to cold flex foods. And then if you're doing, some people do the Love Super Meal as opposed to the what we call the Power Shake in the U.S. and what we call Hippocrates there. And they'll do the Love Meal because it has a few more calories, and they'll warm it up. They'll put warm water and they'll eat it like porridge in the morning. So there's
Okay.
different ways that you could bring some warmth into your life. You could add some ginger, to the product, to one of your drinks, and that sort of increases circulation and warms up the body. You could also just accept the fact that, it's a great time to lose weight when it's cold outside because your body's burning more fat.
Okay. Thank you.
I hope some of that helps.
Yeah. Thank you.
No worries. As you can see, it's freezing cold here.
Yeah, I know. It looks really cold. I wish I was there right now. It looks amazing.
It will be.
Yes, it's hard just to be wearing a shirt, but they told me I had to. Okay.
Yeah.
Tara, did you have a question, Tara?
I wanted to know what's the best source of protein that you eat, Dave?
Well, of course, that's the super aminos, followed by spirulina, so spirulina has 65% bioavailable protein, and then alfalfa has 40% bioavailable protein. Broccoli, cabbage, 25 to 28% bioavailable protein. So I love to get my protein from like cabbage and broccoli, Brussels sprouts, and other cruciferous vegetables because, like I said, 25 to 28% protein, and it's a green food with a lot of sulfur as well. And sulfur compounds are really good for you, especially if you do athletic endeavors or you tend to, to want that healing that comes from MSM, that methyl sulfur that is in these vegetables as well. The one that makes them smell not so good when you cook them is also makes it very good for you. So that's my favorite source of protein. And then if I go into the animal realm, I love cottage cheese, organic cottage cheese. I like sheep's cheese, goat cheese. I would eat a little bit of that. I also like wild caught, line caught salmon, but I don't like that sometimes our, oceans are overfished. Also, probably, eggs if they're free range and free roaming as well. And then occasionally some fowl, chicken, and turkey if it's free roaming. So I used to be vegan, raw food and all of that. And that's awesome if that's the path you're on, if that's where you are in your life. But today I realize that everything that lives in some way lives because something else dies. And whether we eat a carrot or whether we eat an apple or whether we eat an egg, something that was living stopped living for us. And so fruitarians, when I was a fruitarian, we only ate fruit after it fell from the tree, only food that was freely given by the earth. And that was a really difficult path, I'll admit, but it was the most noble path to only eat food that was freely given by the earth because it fell to the earth. But even then, you denied the earth of perhaps something, who knows. But either way, for the most part, I've accepted the fact, so long as I bless everything that I eat, so long as I invite it to be part of me and my consciousness, a higher consciousness that's full of love and full of good intentions for the world, that carrot, that apple, that egg, that chicken, or that fish is now going to become part of something that will hopefully make the planet better, me. And so in that way, by blessing it up and by inviting it to become part of me and part of the change that I'm creating in the world, I feel that life that was given by the vegetable, the chicken or the fish, perhaps is something that is acceptable to me. It definitely is acceptable to me. So that's a long answer, philosophical perhaps, but that's where I stand.
Yeah, thank you so much. And thank you for your inspiration and all you do. I really appreciate that and that guidance.
Oh, my pleasure. Thanks for yours.
Great stuff. Thanks for that, Tara. That was brilliant. Lisa Dowd. Lisa, you've got a question for Dave?
Hi, I do. Thank you. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, fine.
Perfect. I'm pregnant at the moment. I'm due in January, and I just wanted to know if the cleanse is suitable if you're breastfeeding.
I recommend what I call a lifestyle, not what you're going to do is you're going to do the same products as you if you're doing the, except for you're going to add you're going to add a meal or two to that, a very healthy meal, to make sure that all of the nourishment so that your body needs while you're if you're You said that you're pregnant, or you're right?
Yes, yeah, during January.
So what you want to do is you want to add spirulina in the first couple of trimesters to really help with the development of the baby. And no, it's okay to do the products. You just need to add a few more calories in by having a small meal or two in addition.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay, it looks like I'm not sure if you guys could see me any longer, but I think I'm still here.
Yeah, we got you there, Dave. Great questions, great answers there. Dave, do you want to tell us a little bit of the best way to prepare for a cleanse? Because obviously you don't want to be going in from being a red meat carnivore straight into doing what's essentially is a vegetarian or even a vegan cleanse.
Well, the biggest mistake, Andy, that people make is they go out and they binge, and it's like someone is going to quit smoking and then they have 40 cigarettes, and then they never actually quit because they have so much, nicotine in their body they couldn't possibly quit. So the bottom line is, don't be so afraid of it. Like, don't be in fear of it and go out and binge eat thinking that somehow that's going to make you satisfied the next day. What you eat today isn't going to satisfy you for the next 10 days. To the contrary, it's going to be a detriment to your success. So the worst things that I've ever seen happen of people not making it through the cleanse is because they binge eat before. The secret is to drink a lot of water, to begin to use, common sense in what you eat, more fruits, more vegetables, don't eat as late at night. And so that when you ease into the transformation, it's not such a shock. In addition to that, you have to be prepared. You have to get your flex foods ready. You have to be ready to travel with your foods. You need to have your calendar in your phone. You need to inform everybody that you're going to be doing this, and regardless of their temptation, you're not going to give in. Regardless of their teasing you, you're not going to give in. So they might as well just join you and support you and encourage you, because you're going to do this. So announcing it to the world so that they support you, and asking them not to, tempt you by preparing your flex foods in advance, getting a lunch pail, a thermos, a bag, anything that allows you to make sure that you're going to travel with everything you need so that when your bell rings, you're able to do the products. And remember, follow the rhythm. By day 4, most people are like, I feel so good, and then they skip their protein, or they skip their flex food, or they skip the thing because they don't feel hungry, and then all of a sudden they find themselves in a crisis because it's the every 2 hours that makes it work. And if you don't hit your every 2 hours, it stops working. And so I'm going to teach you about the roller coaster real quick. First of all, in America, we love amusement parks and roller coasters. So if you go into the amusement park, you see a bunch of people, and they're coming out of a gate, and they're going, oh my God, that was amazing. That was awesome. Let's do it again. Let's get all of our friends to do it too. And so you ask, what did you do? They said, we went on this ride. So you get in line for the ride, and you get put into the seat, and all of a sudden they push the seat down really hard, and you hear click, click, and then they start going up, and it's click, 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 and you're climbing to the top, and you're starting to get a little bit nervous. And then you hear people screaming as they go over the top and start to fall down, and then you get a little more nervous, and you wish that you could get off. And then you go over that top, and you're like scared as your stomach feels empty, and it goes up into the pit of your, in your body, and all of a sudden you get to the bottom, and you start enjoying it. And by the time the ride ends, you're like, oh my God, that was amazing. I feel so proud of myself for overcoming my fear, and for going through it all the way to the end. The problem is we don't strap you into a 10-day transformation. You can get off anytime you want. And if you get scared by the click, 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 and that means, oh my God, I'm not going to have any food for 10 days that I'm used to. And if you get scared by the screaming, that's the people going, oh my God, this is hard. And you don't make it through those first 2 to 3 days when it's difficult, then you're never going to get that feeling, that powerful feeling that you overcame your fears, that you overcame your self-limiting beliefs, that you actually did something when nobody was looking, when you could have cheated, you could have snacked, and nobody would have known, but you didn't. And that's going to test your character. That's going to tell you who you really are. And so some people come out of this transformation feeling so powerful because they did that, because they stuck to the program and they didn't cheat. And they made it to day 5 and they felt that euphoria that you'll never feel if you cheat. And they made it to day 7 and they felt that spirituality that you'll never feel unless you don't cheat. And then they got to day 10 and they saw that sense of satisfaction, the results, and how much younger they looked, and how much thinner they looked, and how much more energy they had, and how much clearer their mind and their body and their spirit was. And they know that they never would have felt that way if they had gotten off the ride. So I'm just telling you guys, there are amazing rewards to this 10-day journey. But it starts out tough, but it gets better. And then it gets really good, and then it gets amazing, and then you feel fantastic, and it's worth it. So that's my message to you. The way to prepare is to know it's not going to be easy, but to know it's worth it. Not to binge eat, to be prepared. We don't prepare to fail. We fail to prepare, was something a famous general once said. Again, we don't prepare to fail. We fail to prepare. So let's do this, you guys. Let's do it together. And if you do choose to have one small meal a day, that's okay. Just make that decision in advance. We call that a lifestyle transformation. That means you're easing your way into this, and that's okay too. So just make the decision which path you're going to be on and stick to it. And if halfway through a transformation, 5 days through the transformation, you think you can't handle it, then I give you permission to switch to a lifestyle. But if you could make it to day 5, you're never going to want to go back. You're going to want to do it just the way you've been doing it because you're going to feel that good. Any other questions, Andy?
Yeah, there is, Dave. But what you just said there, that's something to rewind and watch this again. What Dave said there is absolutely so important. It really is. Naomi's got a question. We had the chat the other day about fighters and testimonials, Dave. Well, Naomi is the person I was asking for in general, and she's got a quick question on the athlete transformation. Naomi, are you there?
Yeah, hi. Hi, Dave.
So Naomi, why do you like to see people get beaten up?
I'm not sure I do. Yeah, so really my question was just going to ask if you were going to cover anything about the athlete transformation. I always get so many people interested in the cleanse, and yeah, I would just love to hear what you want to say about, or if you want to talk about the athlete.
Well, the athlete's transformation is a lot like the lifestyle. It's just that you're adding a couple of more products that enhance your athletes, that build testosterone, that help with recovery. So athlete's transformation is essentially a lifestyle transformation. That's where you have, 1 or 2 small meals throughout the day, and you have 1 or 2 extra supplements throughout the day because you're an athlete. So that's really the only difference. But what I'll tell you is, if you've heard of Bellator Fight Club, and 4 years ago, nobody has heard of Bellator Fight Club. Today, everybody has heard of Bellator Fight Club. So we've got one of our fighters fighting in Dublin on the 16th. And my guess is he's going to definitely emerge victorious. He'll be wearing pure gear. And there are now 6 champions in Bellator Fight Club. There were before 0 champions in Bellator Fight Club. They all use Purium products. They swear by Purium products. They're always the easiest to get testimonials out of, but we're going to do that for you. And athlete, I work with athletes in all arenas. I'm not allowed to say their names, but let's just say in every major sporting league, including World League Soccer and World Cup Soccer, including Major League Baseball, basketball. I've got clients and I advise people in all walks of life, and athletes, of course, are included in that.
Awesome. Thanks, Dave. I think
now I'll tell you something. Our Revive It All is used by all the fighters because it improves your hand speed. And if you don't want to get hit, and if you want to get your blows in before they're blocked, having faster hand-eye coordination is extremely important. Now, at 54 years young, I could grab flies from the air with my hands, not with chopsticks. And I don't know very many people at any age that could do that. And I was never able to do it before I created the product Revive It All. We also have Be Energetic, which regenerates a adrenal system that is typically suffering from burnout or adrenal fatigue. No other company has athlete products like that. I could go on and on. Our astaxanthin is clinically proven to accelerate the rate at which our body recovers and reduces injuries to our ligaments, our joints, etc. We have products for athletes that other companies could only dream about. And so it's not just about the transformation or athlete's transformation. It's about Revive It All. It's about the astaxanthin. It's about the Be Energetic. It's about the what we call Super Life formula here in the United States. And sometimes there's different names there, but you know, these are amazing, incredible products for athletic recovery that other companies, like I said, could only dream about. Look at the anti-inflammatory of the tart cherry. Look at the antioxidants of the tart cherry. Look at the deep sleep of the tart cherry. No other athletic performance advisor even thinks about those things, but we're all over it. So when you're an athlete, when you're one of my athletes, and I've got a lot, you take 12 different products, what we call the awesome products for athletes, and 12 different products if you want to be on the A list as far as, you know, athletic nutritional excellence.
How was that, Naomi, for an answer? I think we may have one more question. Sarah, did you have a question for Dave?
Hi, yeah. Hi, I'm wondering, because people have some really amazing results on the cleanse, but they don't always stick to it, and say they've found out they have emotional eating problems, like they boredom or depression. They seem to some people go back to it, and I'm just wondering how you help those people who don't sort of stick to it.
Well, we're going to do that through education. I'm going to get scientific on you. We have a hormone in our body called adiponectin. And adiponectin is what triggers our body to use fat as the source of energy instead of sugar. And the difference scientifically between obese people and people with a lean body type is that the lean body types have 43% more adiponectin than the obese body types. Are you following? Does everybody get that so far? Okay. Now, we have science, published science, clinical studies that show that when you have 20 grams of our rice extract, our organic rice extract that's in the Power Shake, that's in our fiber, that you will increase adiponectin by 40% in 84 days. And so by doing a 10-day transformation and then following with 90 days of taking one Power Shake and one fiber drink a day, you will get the requisite 20 grams of adiponectin-inducing phytochemicals. And after 94 or 84 days, 90 days in my opinion, because we're going to give an additional 3 months after the 10-day transformation, then the people are going to clinically change their physiology, and their cravings will change, and their digestion will change, and everything will change. But it's been scientifically proven that it takes 90 to 100 days to change a metabolic system. 10 days is a jump start. It starts with 10 days, but it's the follow through that's most important. And now we have the clinical studies and the science to prove that. We're going to be announcing that around January 1st. And the programs are going to be really easy to follow because it's one Power Shake a day or one Hippocrates drink a day and one fiber drink a day or 2 Hippocrates drinks a day to make it easy. And you're going to be getting the requisite amount of adiponectin inducing phytochemistry that in 90 days you could literally change from an obese body type to a lean body type, and that's scientifically proven.
Great answer.
Is that a compelling reason?
How's that, Sarah?
Yeah, that's good.
Brilliant. You've got Naomi started here as well, Dave. I think she's got another follow-up question for you. Thanks, sir.
Okay, I'm gonna have to go to my next appointment. So let's make a last couple of questions, if that's okay.
Yeah, cool. Fire
Okay.
away, Naomi.
Thanks for your answer on the athlete. I just didn't unmute in time. So the question I have is, Dave, what would be your advice for people, say they're thinking of doing a transformation, but they maybe want to do something beforehand? What would be, or they want to continue after the transformation and do the lifestyle? What would be your top 3 products that you would suggest that they take in order to continue with the lifestyle afterwards?
Well, before, I think you should do a power shake, at least 10 days or 1 week, one a day, so you get used to the taste if you feel like you might have a problem with that. And we find that people that they start out and they get literally 2 transformations, and they use one like once a day for like 10 days. And then after 10 days, they're used to the rhythm of taking a power shake and aminos and tart cherry. And then they just start taking, the drinks, the green drinks, and then they just, increase it. And so easing into it with what we call a core 3 or a daily Purium, and then easing out of it the same way. But going through the catalog and literally energetically looking what products vibrate with your body, draw your finger down the page and pay attention, and see what products call out to you. Maybe you need a recharging, maybe to cleanse your brain with Revividol. Maybe you need to detoxify heavy metals with our Healite, adding chlorella. There's all types of possibilities once you're into the lifestyle, and once you begin to improve. It's like if you get a new couch, the curtains don't look so good anymore, and then you have to replace the curtains, and then the carpet doesn't match. Well, that's what self-improvement is like. You start out, you lose 10 pounds. Next thing you know, you're working out. You want to get some muscle. Maybe you're, using the skin, rejuvenating astaxanthin and the chlorella and the aloe in order to, look younger. And, it's all your, how deep you want to go in the pool. There's a shallow end and there's a deep end. I'm swimming in the deep end every day. But everybody doesn't have to do that.
There you go, Naomi. Dave, listen, I know you got another appointment. Really, really appreciate your time. But just before you go, I want to let everyone know that Dave's coming back on the first Tuesday in January, and he's going to absolutely blow your socks off about a product that he was talking about earlier, okay? They got all the new information, all the clinical studies that have come out with it, and this is definitely going to be one not to be missed, Dave. Is that right?
Absolutely. This is going to be the way that we're going to hold on to people past 10 days, because we're not going to invite them to come in for 10 days. Our motto is, it all starts with 10 days. It starts with 10 days. Well, what's it? Well, the change in your life starts with 10 days. So we're going to jumpstart you in 10 days. And then after that, that's when it really begins. 10 days is just the beginning. It starts after, and it starts on day 11. And we want to transform people. So we get its 90-day commitment from people, 90-day commitment, and we're going to give them an amazing result. We're going to change their metabolism, metabolically, physiologically, scientifically, and that's different than anybody's ever done for them before. So it starts with 10 days, but that's only the beginning.
Awesome. That's Tuesday, the 3rd of January, guys. Get that one in your diary. Dave, you're on great form.
You should be recovered by then.
You're on great form tonight, mate, or today in your time. Really, really appreciate your time. And enjoy yourself on the trip out there. And we'll catch you at the beginning of January. Look forward to it, mate. And have a great Christmas.
Just said so.
Thank you, Dave.
Love you guys.
Thanks.
All the best.
Thanks.